Hello, everyone, and welcome to our next mini masterclass. Today is all about entertaining parties and gifting and how we can do that without upsetting the tax man or lady. So I'm going to start today. I'm going to walk you through three different areas. We're going to look at staff entertainment, which is a big one at the minute with everybody having their Christmas parties. We're going to look at something called trivial benefits that not everybody's aware of, which is a great way for you to get some free perks yourself and also to look after your staff.
Yeah.
And then we're going to look at client and supplier gifts because that's a very common question at the moment as well. What can you and can't you gift? We'll also talk a little bit about client entertaining as well. So, first of all, the Christmas party, as it's known, although it's not really known by that as far as HMRC are concerned, there's an allowance every year for staff entertaining, and it equates to £150 per head for each member of staff. Now, you have to make sure that you invite all members of staff to this. So if you've got employees as well as directors in the business, it must be an event for everybody. It can't be directors only. If you are only directors in the business, then obviously that's fine because there are only directors, but you must invite everybody along to the event for it to qualify for the tax relief. The other important thing to remember is that it is supposed to be an annual event, which is why it's kind of become known as the Christmas party event. So you want to be doing this regularly. It could be a Christmas party, it could be a summer barbecue, and actually you could hold both if you want to. But the key is that in the course of any tax year, you must only spend £150 per person on this staff entertaining. If you go one penny over, unfortunately, it means it becomes a taxable benefit on the member of staff, and you also won't get tax relief through the company. So that £150 hasn't changed over the last few years. It is becoming a little bit more challenging. I guess one event rather than two, probably these days. But £150 is the magic number. Now, that can cover the event itself, so venue hire, food, drinks, but it can also cover travel and accommodation if you choose to stay away. So you can decide what you want to do. Just make sure that the total cost per head is only £150. The other thing to remember is that you can invite partners. So the 150 applies to your member of staff, but also their partner. So £300 effectively for a couple, which is really good. So if
Okay.
you're a director only business, even if you're a sole director, that means that you and your partner can go out for a nice meal or something at Christmas and you have £300 to spend. But yeah, the
Right.
150 is the magic number. Okay.
It's really not that much, is it? When you break it down, if you were to go for a meal or if you were to stay over, it's not
No,
really that
it's not
much.
it's not hugely generous and it hasn't changed for years. So you do
Yeah.
have to be careful, which is why we sort of suggest a little bit of party planning and making the budget work harder. It's possibly why you see people opting for the earlier dates, the off-peak dates at certain venues, so November or even January parties we're seeing now.
Yeah.
In COVID times, you could even spend this on online parties. There were people doing cocktail tasting and wine tasting online. So you can still do that sort
Yeah.
of thing if you want to. Make sure
Yeah.
you track everything. Make sure you know who's attended and keep receipts for everything so you can document it and prove that per head calculation if you need to. And as I say, just remember to make sure that you invite all employees, not just directors only. Now, unfortunately, this is something that relates to employees. And so, therefore, anybody that's self employed doesn't have this ability to go out and have this annual event for themselves. Now, if they employ people and they're an employer, then they absolutely can in terms of their staff. But if you're just a sole trader, unfortunately, this allowance isn't available to you.
If you're a limited company and an only director,
It
does it
is a
apply?
Yes, it does apply. An only
Yeah.
director, and you can, as I said, you can take your partner, and you've got £150, so you can go for a nice meal, £300, the two of you.
Okay.
So that's staff entertaining. The next thing is something called trivial benefits. So these again apply in an employed situation, and they are really designed for employers to be able to give their staff a little thank you. It might be a birthday present, it might be a Christmas present, just something, a token. And you should make sure that there's no contractual entitlement to it. And you can give up to as many times as you like during the course of the year, but each one has to be no more than £50 in value. And it can't be
Okay.
cash and it can't be a voucher that can be exchanged for cash. It can be a voucher that you spend in John Lewis, Marks and Spencer, somewhere like that, but it just can't be exchanged for cash.
Yeah.
The other things it can't be as I say, the reward for work performance or contract and a contractual entitlement. So, some people have said to me in the past, well, could I pay their commissions in vouchers instead and call them trivial benefits and then they won't be taxed on them? No, you can't do that. This
Yeah.
has to be something just as a one-off. Somebody's done a really good piece of work, you want to say thank you, or they've had a really shitty time at home and you want to say, we care about
Yeah.
you sort of thing.
Or if they're off ill or something like
Yeah.
that,
Or they've had a
sending them some
baby,
flowers.
or there's a bereavement,
Yeah.
or something like that. That's what they're
Yeah.
designed for. Okay. And so the employee gets that gift without any tax or national insurance contributions, and you can deduct that through your company. Now,
Okay.
when so that you can pay as many times as you like to a member of staff. It's unlikely you're going to do more than a couple in a year probably to each member of staff.
Mm.
But as directors, you are entitled to up to 6 of these in any tax year. So you can take a maximum of £300 in a tax year. They have to be individual amounts of £50, so you can take 6 lots. So what a lot of people do, including myself, save them up till Christmas and buy John Lewis vouchers or whatever, six £50
Yeah.
vouchers, and you can use those. So that's a good way for you to get £300 out of the business, tax free, in any tax year. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's
That's fine.
trivial. That's trivial benefits. Um, Client entertainment. This is the one that people don't like. This time of the year, people are wanting to take customers, they're wanting to take suppliers out for something to eat and drink. Unfortunately, pretty much all client entertainment or supplier entertainment is not tax deductible. So
Yeah.
your business can pay for it. That's absolutely fine. You can pay for it through the bank account, but you won't get tax relief on it. When we come to work out your profits at the end of the year, we have to add that figure back. So meals
Yeah.
and hospitality, lunches, dinners, drinks, all that sort of thing. If you go to theatres, we see people buy tickets for charity events, where you sit at a table with other people. Um,
Yeah.
all of those things, unfortunately, the tax man doesn't see those as being necessary, wholly and exclusively necessary for the running of your business. They see them as social expenses. Now, I know we have lots of arguments with clients. Well, come on, isn't it part of our marketing? It's part of what we do. It's part of how we do
Yeah.
business. And I don't disagree, but the rules, unfortunately, are that these things aren't tax deductible. So you do have to be careful, and just remember that you will be paying tax on that effectively.
Yeah.
There are some exceptions if it's very sort of minor in relation to a training session or a seminar or something like that, and you might be able to get some of the VAT back. You might be able to apportion some of it to staff that go versus, clients and suppliers, but take some advice if you're spending large sums of money on anything like that to make sure you know what your tax relief will be before you go ahead with it.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, and then client gifts, what you can and you can't claim for. Again, very popular topic at the moment. So
Yeah.
you can give your clients or your suppliers gifts if you wish to, but again, to make sure that they are tax deductible for you and there's no tax implications for them, they need to cost less than £50 per gift per recipient for the year. And they must carry a conspicuous advertisement for your business. So you need your branding on it, you need your logo on it somewhere. They can't be food, they can't be drink, tobacco, or vouchers. So we're really left with sort of, as the screen says, branded diaries, calendars, logo, desk accessories, pens, that sort of thing. So a bit limited, but you can at least do something. But that means that when we receive things like, the wine and the chocolate hampers from Hotel Chocolat that we get from some of our software suppliers, yes, again, it's like the entertaining. It's been paid for through the business, but there is no tax relief as far as the company's concerned.
Yeah.
So yeah, just be careful what you send and what you spend. And again, self-employed professionals can actually take advantage of this. So if you are self-employed, you can also follow these rules for gifting at Christmas.
So if you were to accept the fact that the gifts aren't going to be tax deductible, and you wanted to send Hotel Chocolat, whatever it might
Yeah.
be, do you need to have your branding on it, or because you know that
No, you
it's
don't
not,
have to.
it doesn't
If
make any
you,
difference?
if you accept that, that it's food, and chocolates or whatever, and that it's not going to get tax relief anyway, then there's not really any, well, other than the brand awareness, there's no need to
Yeah.
put the brand on there if you don't want to. So,
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. This
okay.
was one of my key things I was coming here to ask you about because I'm just starting to think about doing this. And yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, common mistakes to avoid. Don't mix your personal and your business expenditure. So, don't claim personal partying at Christmas through the business. If it's only family attending, it's personal. It's not going to be a business expense. We do see that sometimes people try to put that through. Watch that £150 limit, calculate conservatively, obviously include the VAT in your per head calculation, make sure you know exactly what you're spending, especially if you're not VAT registered, that VAT element's going to be in there. Um, Cash instead of gifts, cash gifts or general purpose gifts like that, they're going to be taxable. So stick to physical gifts rather than cash or retail vouchers, and make sure you stick under that £50. And just keep records of everything just in case you're asked, and just in case we have to prove, what did you buy, how much was it, and who did it go to, that sort of thing. You've probably
Yeah,
got a list of who you want to spend gifts to.
yeah,
And so yeah, it was just a quick summary. I mean, these sessions are only designed to be short and sharp to give you a few hints and tips. So here's just a roundup with an action plan. Review your plans. If you've got your party booked, make sure your costs are okay. Choose your gifts wisely. Document everything. And if you're not sure, then obviously ask us before you commit to spending anything or sending anything, because it can be a bit nasty if you get caught out.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely.
So
Okay,
yeah.
brilliant. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Um, you said make sure you stay under that £50. Can the voucher be for £50 or
Yeah,
does it have to
yeah.
be? Yeah,
No, it's
yeah, it
50 pound,
can.
£50 or under. Yeah, yeah. Maximum
Okay.
50. Okay.
All right. That's perfect. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you. If you do think of any other questions, then let me know, obviously.
Will
All
do. That's
right.
really good. Thanks, Helen.
Okay.